What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Stocked Up podcast. I know I'm a little late. I've been away. If you're new here, I am Sky. I am a trader, also, in the online space and stuff like that. And I wanted to start this podcast to kind of talk about, trading, mindset, stuff like that. I feel like that's a little bit more boring in YouTube videos to just watch my face talk and stuff instead of showing the charts and stuff. So I thought a podcast would be a good alternative to that. But anyways, today we are gonna talk about the grind before the freedom because everyone loves the idea of freedom. No one really talks about the grind that comes first. In order to get freedom, the early mornings, the late nights, the losses, the self doubt. So I kind of want to go over that today and what that actually looks like. Just life before trading gives you freedom, financially and mentally and all that. Realistically, most people get into trading because of the freedom, the time freedom, location, freedom of just being your own boss, not living paycheck to paycheck, stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there's a reason why so many people want to get into this. But the problem is that social media just kind of shows you the end result, not really the journey, You see the profits and the luxury and just the lifestyle and flexibility and people doing whatever they want, but they don't really talk, about the blown accounts and the months of not having any progress that are so discouraging and just the learning curves and the frustration. The freedom is real, but it's earned. It's definitely not given, especially in this space, right? It's a pretty intense space. So the reality really is, studying the charts when no one's watching, not just, when you're posting your little TikTok, it's like a constant thing. Um, you know, your friends are out doing what they do, especially if you're, in your younger 20s or even college, high school, whatever. Your friends are out doing whatever it is that kids do, and you're at home, grinding and practicing and studying, and losing trades, still showing up the next day. It's very repetitive, it can get very boring. It really will test your patience, I'll tell you that. I'm personally not a very patient person. That was probably one of my biggest things to learn. Just the patience of doing those things over and over again. But it's super important, right? It's just how it is. There's days that you'll do everything right, you still lose. Um, and that's where most people quit, right? People really need to understand losing is a part of trading. It's not your setup. It's not, a lot of times it can be you, can be your psychology, but there are days where you can mark out the perfect setup. Like literally, you're doing everything right, and the market will just go another way. It just is what it is, and that's what you're committing to, and you know that there's that risk, right? Um, it's not because you can't trade. It's just it's not glamorous, it very much is glamorized, trading and just the you know adventure and journey of it all, but it's not. It's really not super fun and all this stuff. It's definitely very intense. It's very heavy emotionally and stuff like that. One thing to write is that trading will teach you delayed gratification the way nothing else ever will. You don't really get rewarded for the efforts. You get rewarded, for the execution over time, and the hours and hours and hours that you're putting in, and you feel like you're not, getting any progress. Eventually, we'll all come together, but it's just not right away. You'll study for hours, take clean trades, follow your rules, and you probably won't see profits right away, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It's just part of the process. You're building a skill. You're not chasing luck. We're not gambling here, right? And every discipline trade compounds. Even the losing ones. They're shaping you and how you think and how you respond emotionally to trades, and just building up your psychology every single time. And to add on to that, like I was saying earlier about it being very, heavy emotionally and mentally and stuff, the hardest part is not technical, right? It's not the math, it's not learning strategies. Anyone can learn that. You can teach that to a kid. It's all mental, right? It's all in your head. Self doubt, comparison, just the fear of losing, being wrong, being a loser and not having anything to show, and the pressure to rush that because you're seeing other people win when, realistically, a lot of the time what you see on the internet isn't really real, but you are seeing that and always going to question yourself, right? Like, why am I not there yet? Why am I behind? But you're not behind, you're just early. Everyone's timing is different. That's just the part of the journey where your confidence is going to build and the trust in yourself is going to build, and you just need to trust the process. And yeah, you can't just go quitting right away and stuff like that. And that's also a big reason people fail, right? They quit way too early. Like I said, trading is difficult. It's losing is a part of it. So if you quit at that point, you're never really gonna make it, right? And I mean, pretty obvious. But people keep switching strategies and they're trying to get shortcuts and they're not respecting risk. They're just like fucking full porting shit just to try to get profits. And it's like, well, you're kind of asking for it at that point, right? You're asking to fail. Um, the freedom doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from showing up and managing risk and, again, trusting the process and staying in the game long enough to actually see those rewards come back to you, right? The market's very rewarding to patience, not desperation. So if you're getting in there emotionally and you're in a rush and you just need to make money, it's probably not going to work out for you, right? Um, and so, yeah, that too, freedom, it's not trading every day. A lot of people too make that mistake of trading every day, trading 6, 7, 8 times a day. Not how it needs to be, right? You need to be okay with not forcing trades and not feeling the need to do that and just walking away. You got to know your edge and trust yourself. Like I said earlier, freedom starts in your mind, right? Before it even hits your bank account. It's 90, if not more, percent mental. Like, that's the biggest part of the game. Anyways, we're gonna keep it pretty short here. Just wanted to go over that mental states, mindset, super important. We're gonna talk obviously deeper into that, but yeah, that's the reality of it. Yes, there's a lot of freedom, time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, whatever you want to call it, but there is a road to get there, and you need to walk that road. There's no shortcuts. Sorry, in that it just is what it is, and you got to commit to that and be ready for that or not. The decision's up to you. It's in your hands. But if you're grinding right now, keep going. You're not wasting your time. I promise you, you are building something. It might just kind of be invisible right now, but that's okay. Anyways, this was Stocked Up episode 2, the grind before the freedom. Super real, super realistic for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to be more consistent on here and, really get a lot more into psychology. I feel like a lot of people need it, but again, kind of boring to watch a YouTube video and just stare at my face. So, if you're washing dishes or walking your dog or taking a ride or something, you guys can, put this on and just listen to it and get a little bit of advice, right? So, anyways, share it with your grandma, your friends, your aunts, your uncles, whoever is grinding, especially people who are getting into trading. And stay tuned because, again, this is only the beginning. We have some crazy stuff coming hopefully this summer. Getting this podcast on camera, getting some other traders on here. Gonna try to make this something really, really big. Still new to the whole thing and recording and all these things. But I'm just hoping that, as we get to learn the process of podcasts and how they work, that we can turn this into something really, really good. So that's the freedom you want. It's coming. There's consistency that needs to happen. It's just on the other side of that. I promise you, it's closer than you think. That being said, I'll see you guys next episode. And as always, happy trading.